This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
The third thing that Jesus points out that an undisciple is or does is that an undisciple is not in love with Jesus. John 8, starting with verse 41 and verse 42, they said to him, "We're not born of sexual immorality. We have one Father, even God." And Jesus said to him, "If God were your Father, you would love me." Now, Jesus chose his words very carefully. He wasn't just tossing this word love out casually. He was being very, very specific. When he said, "If God were your Father, you would love me," he was saying, you can't love me because you don't love God the Father. If you were in love with God the Father, you would love me. That's what Jesus was saying. He's saying you're not in love with God, therefore you're not in love with me. An undisciple is not in love with God. He likes God. He wants God to bless him. He wants God to do some really special things in his life and maybe even in the lives of his church. But he is not focused on his love for God. There's not this overwhelming drive, this passion to be faithful and obedient and loyal and close and intimate with God. In other words, what God was saying is, look, we're family. Family loves each other. Oh, sure, we fight and we squabble and, we're Baptist. But families love each other. And if you don't love God the Father of our family, how are you a family? Let me put it to you this way. People who love God love people who love God. People who love God love people who love God. When there is bitterness and resentment and harshness and cruelty and arrogance and dissension within the body of Christ, it comes from people who are not in love with God. Period. When a church splits and they're arguing and they're fighting and they're bickering about something that's going on in their church, it's because somebody has lost the focus of their relationship and their fellowship and their love for God. They're walking outside, away from God's will. Somebody is. And of course, they're going to point fingers and say, well, it's you. No, it's you. No, it's you. But people who love God love people who love God.
On behalf of Dan Hurst and the Open Class, we want to thank you for watching. We hope it was a blessing.